This video is going to show you how to use the DWA3500 by CEMB USA. So first things first, we're going to need to drive the car onto the lift and stop when the front two wheels are on the turn plates. After that, step out of the vehicle and place the wheel chocks behind any wheel of your choosing. Then place your steering wheel holder onto the steering wheel. Now once the wheel chocks are in place and your steering holder is in position, next you'll need to go ahead and mount all four of the wheel clamps in their respective locations. Each one of the targets has a sticker on the back that tells you where it goes onto the vehicle. And what you need to do is mount them in a fashion that where the knob to tighten them is at the 12 o'clock position. Now these clamps feature dual-sided pins, and what that's for is for different size offset applications such as ambulances, dualies, or other applications as well. Now these clamps also feature two different positioning for the pins. There's an outer position and an inner position here. Now the outer ones are for bigger diameter wheels up to a 24 inch. The inner ones are for smaller diameter wheels. The important thing is you use all four outer ones or all four inner ones. Don't mix and match because the clamp will not center correctly onto the wheel. To switch between different pin sizes, all you need to do is pull the safety pin from the clamp, pull the pin out, reverse the pin in the direction you want, and put the clip back into place. After the vehicle has been set up, next we're going to go ahead and work the software. So we have a couple of options here on the left hand side. The button on the top left corner is going to be for our webcam. If you click here, you can see a live view of what our webcam is seeing here. This is used for assisting the driver onto the turn plates when he's pulling in. Okay, we'll go ahead and hit our back button to come out of here. And this our camera allows us to see what our two cameras on our towers are seeing in live time onto the targets. We can manually go up and down if we need to, but this machine is equipped with an auto track feature, so no need to manually move it up or down. Hit the back button to come back. The next button on the left hand side, the one that mentions fast, that's used for a generic alignment when you don't want to tell the machine what vehicle you're aligning. But what we're going to focus on now is this next button down here at the bottom, so we're going to go ahead and click that now. And now we have our database in alphabetical order starting from Acura down to Volvo. So what we're going to do is the left hand side is our make. So we're going to scroll down and select our make for this particular vehicle. Then it focuses on the center box. Here we select our model. So again, alphabetical order, we're going to select the model, and now we're jumped over to this third box. And here we're going to see different configurations such as sport suspensions, four-wheel drive, two-wheel drive, RPO codes for axles. So go ahead and select the proper setting for the vehicle you have now. You could also use this year minus and year plus on the left hand side. Now if you click the year plus, you'll see a black number appear right here. This is handy for filtering out any options that don't apply to this particular year vehicle. So in this instance, I'll select the 2018, and now I'll select the right configuration for the vehicle. Okay, now I arrive at this page. Now these are factory specifications on how this car is supposed to be considered aligned, not how this car currently is at the moment. We have different information on the screen here, such as our wheelbase in inches. We have 63 inches from the left side to the right side from center of the wheel, and 111 inches from front to back. We also have the option here to change our wheel size. Go ahead and select that. Right, now that we've selected our wheel size, we also have our information over here, such as our total toe, camber angle, caster, SAI, steering axis inclination, 20 degrees on toe out, max internal steering, and max external steering. The blue line does divide the front from the rear, so anything below the blue line applies to the rear, such as total toe and camber. Now, we also have illustrations available. If you click this top left button up here, it will give you illustrations for certain adjustments. You can hit the next button to scroll through those if you need to make reference to those. And we click the back button, brings us back out here, and then we go forward with the next. Once you arrive to this screen, again, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and put your steering lock into position. And now you're going to have a couple options when you come to this screen. The machine is now prompting us to either go forward or back. So it's going to default into a rolling compensation. So to do so, all you need to do at this point is either roll forward or roll backwards to get the process started, and I'll show you that now. So after doing the runout compensation, next we arrive to this screen here, and this is going to be our caster swing. So here we follow the on-screen prompts. So as you can see, it's telling us to steer to the left. So what we'll do is steer to the triangle, matches up with the line here. The machine's going to automatically tell us when to stop. Once it stops, you'll have two options. You can continue to steer to the left all the way to the 20 degree, or you can keep going as well and go to the max steering. You're going to have to do the same thing to the right side, and after you're done on the right side, you'll go back to the center of the steering wheel, and the caster swing part is complete. Now, after the caster swing is complete, we'll arrive here at this page where we have a couple things going on here. This thick black line divides the database versus the before adjusting. And what this green means is anything on the left-hand side is how the car is supposed to be considered aligned. Anything on the right is how this car currently actually is. Now the machine is going to flag anything out of tolerance in red. As we can see here, the SAI, steering axis inclination, is out of spec. But here we have specs such as total toe, partial toe, setback, camber angle, caster, SAI, steering axis inclination, and TOOT, which is toe out on turn. Again, blue line divides the front from the rear. Anything below it, now we have total toe, partial toe, setback, camber, and thrust angle for the rear. Now on the left-hand side, we do have a series of buttons over here. The one on the top left is going to be our dimensions page. So if we click there, it's going to bring us to this page. Here we have a couple different values going on, such as the measurement from corner of the wheel to the other corner as well. We have our setback, which is going to be measured in inches, which is the difference from the left-hand side and the right-hand side, as well as our thrust angle. You can choose to print this screen if you like by clicking this print icon on the left-hand side. The next button is to print. If you'd like to print this out and give it to the customer here, you can choose to do so right in this page. Now we have our notes. Now this notes has a couple different options here. You can put things such as the name, the plate number, the VIN, mileage, work order ID, technician, and any other kind of notes you can type in. Okay, after making any notes there, you just back out. And then we also have this diagnostics button here. And if you click this button, it's going to give you a list of symptoms you experience based on how this car currently is. So if you look here, it's going to tell us off-center steering wheel to the left when the vehicle is driven in a straight line. So if you keep the values as they are now, this is the symptom you'll experience when driving the vehicle. Again, you can print this screen by clicking the print icon or hit the back arrow to back out to the page. All right, we'll hit next. The machine is just verifying that all targets are in view. And now we get to our rear adjustments. Here we have our live camber and toe for the rear, as indicated at the top left corner with these arrows right in here, as well as our thrust angle. Now we do have a couple of things going on here, such as these small numbers, which are our minimum, maximum, and standard preferred. This big number tells us where we are on that spectrum there. So as you can see, anything in the green, you're in tolerance, and if you're in the red, you're out of tolerance, yellow triangle indicating where you are. Now we also have this freeze button here, and what that is, if you're going to use your rolling jacks to lift up on the vehicle, on the suspension, you're going to need to freeze those values before you go up. And the way you would do that is you click that button, freezes your values in. And if you notice, we have an up arrow now. Up arrow indicating to go ahead and lift the vehicle up. So what we'll do is lift the vehicle up. Once you got it to working height, you're going to click it again. And that's going to unfreeze the values. The numbers are now live again. So you're clear to make your adjustments. Now before coming back down, you're going to need to hit the freeze for a third time. And now you get a down arrow. Numbers freeze again, so you're good to go ahead and bring the car back down onto the lift and turn plates. Once you've done that, you click the freeze for a fourth time. Numbers are now live, and they shouldn't bounce out of spec if you did that correctly. You could also make reference to the illustrations by clicking the photo button here and making the reference to those pictures. We also have a type button here. If you click that, what that's going to do is show you camber and toe for both front and rear at the same time. Hit our previews to back out, and then once you make any corrections here, you're free to click the next button down at the bottom. Machine is going to verify all targets are in view, and it's also going to prompt us to put our brake lock and steering lock into place. Once we've done that, we click next, and we've made our way to our front adjustments. Now once we're on this page for our front adjustments, we have our values such as caster, camber, and toe. Again, in live time, the smaller numbers here are our range, such as our minimum, maximum. The one in the middle is our standard or preferred number. The bigger number, again, illustrates where we are as far as on that spectrum, as listed with the color coding system here. The delta being the difference between the left-hand side and right-hand side, and then we also have total toe here in the center. Freeze is going to work the exact same way as it did on the rear, as well as the photo button here. And we also have this total button here. And what that does is it freezes out one of the toe on the left-hand side here and gives us the steer head on the right. And what that is for vehicles with drag links, or vehicles with solid axles like four-wheel drives, so that you can independently adjust toe without getting both values moving. And to change that back to normal, you can just click the total, unfreezes, and you go back to standard adjustments here. Once you've made any necessary corrections that you need to do, you're free to click the next button. Now you arrive to this page, okay? A couple of things going on. We have a thick black line dividing the before adjusting and the after adjusting. So what that means is how this car currently came in on the left and how it's leaving on the right. Anything out of tolerance, again, will be flagged in red. And you can still have the option to put in your notes up here at the top left, and you can type in any notes as we mentioned before. You can also print to provide to the customer or keep for your records, as well as save the alignment to make reference in the future. Once everything's finished there, just hit the next, and the process is complete. The 3500 also has the ability to do a lifted runout. Now you do this in a couple instances, such as having a long wheelbase on a short lift, or if you don't have the ability to do a rolling compensation. So the way you would do that is using this series of buttons on the left-hand side. I'm going to go ahead and click the single wheel position here. And what that's going to do is begin the process to do a lifted runout. So if you haven't done so already, you'll need to lift the vehicle into the air. Now once you arrive at the single wheel positioning page, what you're going to do is click on any one of these icons next to the wheel. It doesn't matter which one you start with, so long as you do all four of them at the end. Now what we'll do is, again, click on which one you want to begin, and what you're going to do is click this check mark up at the top left. Once you've done that, the machine is going to prompt you to make sure that the car is lifted in the air, as indicated with these arrows, and that the clamp is mounted at the 12 o'clock position, as you see in the picture here. Once it is, you're going to go ahead and click the check mark, and the machine will begin the process. And you just rotate in the direction the machine prompts you to until it tells you when to stop. Once it tells you when to stop, rotate it in the other direction as it prompts you, and stop when the machine tells you to. Now this procedure will have to be repeated for the other three wheels, and once you've done all four, you simply just click this next button down here at the bottom, and the machine is going to proceed on its own, telling you to go ahead and put the brake lock if you haven't done so already. If you have any more questions or concerns, you can call the CEMB Support Center at 678-717-1050.